Chapter 1. A normal morning turned south. It was just another quiet Saturday morning in our peaceful suburban neighborhood, or so we thought. My wife, Emily, had gone out for a jog around the block, her usual route that took her past the HOA clubhouse. We'd lived in this community for 3 years without trouble, mostly keeping to ourselves. But that morning, something was off. A self-appointed HOA enforcement officer, a guy named Rick, who'd recently started wearing a fake badge and tactical vest, decided Emily was suspicious. Maybe it was her athletic build, the military tattoos, or the fact she ignored him when he shouted. Regardless, Rick followed her in his golf cart, revving the engine behind her. By the time she got back to our driveway, Rick was blocking the sidewalk and drawing a pistol. Chapter 2. The gun, the badge, and the mistake. I was in the garage when I heard yelling. By the time I ran out, Rick was pointing a gun at Emily, yelling something about resisting HOA orders and presenting a threat to the community. I froze, terrified, but Emily, she didn't flinch. She slowly raised her hands, eyes scanning his stance, grip, and nervous finger on the trigger. That was the moment Rick made the worst mistake of his life. He called her a dangerous trespasser and stepped forward. Before he could even process what happened, Emily disarmed him, took him to the ground, and had him zip-tied with his own plastic cuffs in under 8 seconds. I didn't even see her move. It was like watching a ghost strike. Chapter 3. Oh. Panic and police arrival. The neighborhood exploded with chaos as HOA board members came rushing out, shouting at Emily and threatening to call real law enforcement. She calmly handed Rick's gun to me, told me to set it on the driveway, and took out her phone. Turns out she didn't need to call the police because she was still active Delta Force, and she already had a direct line to federal command. The local sheriff's department arrived minutes later, and when they saw Rick on the ground and heard Emily's name, everything changed. The deputies recognized her immediately. One even said, "Ma'am, we've heard about you in training." "Is it really you?" The HOA board's bravado evaporated. Chapter 4. The fallout. Rick was taken into custody and later charged with impersonating a law enforcement officer, brandishing a weapon, and criminal intimidation. The board tried to distance themselves, claiming Rick was never officially appointed. But records from HOA meetings, Emily obtained them legally, of course, showed they had voted to form a neighborhood security task force and allowed Rick to operate as their enforcer. The media got wind of it, and suddenly our quiet community was in the national spotlight. Neighbors we'd never met before came to thank Emily and apologize. The HOA board resigned en masse within a week. Chapter 5. Respect earned. Lesson delivered. After everything settled, Emily kept a low profile, though her story made her something of a local legend. Veterans left thank you notes on our door. A few neighbors invited us to BBQs. The new HOA board publicly denounced the idea of any private enforcement and focused on transparency. As for Rick, he ended up with 5 years of probation, a permanent ban from holding any security-related position, and a restraining order. Emily never gloated. She always said, "You never want to use what you're trained for, but if you have to, make it count." That day, she didn't just defend herself, she reminded everyone what real strength and service looked like.